Okay, good afternoon all. Hope everyone is well. 'Tis the 18th of July. Hope everyone is at a good start to the day. So what are we looking at? Pretty much at the moment, looks to me we got a leg and a leg and a leg and a leg, like we're pretty much going sideways. We've had a leg and a leg up, a leg and a leg down, a leg with a break. So hopefully, I'm thinking we may retest this area up here. So still got all-time highs over here. So really, we're just more or less ranging the last few days after that big kind of move up. And then we're just going sideways, really. So let's see how we get on today. No trades yesterday. There was a couple around. I will say setups have improved a lot lately. The last sort of week or two, there does seem to be a lot more around. Now, I've missed a few because I'm kind of a little bit suspicious. And the trouble is, when you go through such a long period of time without setups, all of a sudden, when you see a great setup, you kind of ask yourself the question, this is a little bit too good to be true. So I have missed one or two, but that's okay. It's all part of it, all part of the journey. So we had some news earlier on this morning around about, well, this morning for US guys, around about 1:30, but it just didn't do anything really. I think unemployment claims, housing information, stuff like that doesn't tend to do a great deal really. It's more sort of CPI, PPI, FOMC that really tends to make the market a little bit volatile. But market is due opening just over a minute. So let's see how we get on anyway. So as I say, leg and a leg, leg and a leg. So we've got a break from this. So if we can get a strong push above there, we may. Now I looked at this. I ummed and ahed at this, whether we should sort of go more like that, which kind of looks okay. And if you go with that, it's a channel with a break and a new high. But I did look at Thomas Wade has his like that, which fits. And if I look above here as well on my this chart, top left, it looks like a spiking channel to me. So I think this is probably okay. So I'm just going to go with this. Everything looks okay to me. So I'm going to play it by ear. If we can push above this, then I may look at taking long. But after we've come down, took out any possible liquidity there, and we've bounced here, there'll be some down here. So we may come down here at some point, but there'll be quite a bit there. There was kind of a nice higher low there. So after that leg and leg down, I may have had a go at that. But that was a bit earlier on today. K3, how you doing, bud? So, yeah, I know that was a bad trade, actually. Leg with a couple of legs up and another leg down. Also broken into two, a little bit, one leg, a bit of a pullback and a second leg. So I'd have had a go at that. It was probably quite a large bar. Looks about on the side of 5 points, maybe a touch more. Yeah, it is. So 5.575 with a tick above, tick below, maybe even 6. So quite large that. So I probably might want to get into that. But I do like that one. We got a nice strong bar off the bottom and then a higher low here. So let me think. So we've got a push down, first entry, second entry, failure, trapping those, but coming off this bottom like that, I'd expect that to get trapped. So all good so far. So we've got a channel with a break and a new low. So yeah, it's a little bit early to work out what's going on, but it does just really seem like, I mean, the latter part of yesterday, this was quite horrible actually, but the latter part of yesterday was pretty much just sideways, but it was quite a choppy day. It's hard to trade this stuff because it's just literally bouncing in every direction. So that section there, which lasted quite a while, best part of a couple of hours or over, it's pretty hard to trade then. And then we had this little push down. So, but this was a little bit clearer, a couple of legs up, a couple of legs down. This is not too bad to trade as long as it's finding some sort of area where it's bouncing, but it's much clearer than this stuff. So let's see how we get on today. So leg down, channel down with a break. So there may be, in fact, I tend to think that is probably better. It kind of looks right to me, that does, with a break. In fact, let's bring it to there like that. I think we can get away with that. So I actually prefer that I do. So we got a break here and then a new high. That to me visually looks better. So I think that to me is a break. So push down. So there's a couple of legs. So it'll be interesting where we go now, because there's going to be liquidity under there, under here, and definitely down here. So this thing may go down. And also what I will do is just put that there like that, because it's kind of getting close to this. So I think there's a good chance this is going to come down to the bottom. So I'm going to extend that to there. I think that fits okay. Yeah, I think so. So as we know, price moves towards liquidity. So there's probably going to be some down here. Under there, definitely down the bottom here, I'd say. So maybe a leg, couple of attempts to go high and a second leg down. So let's keep an eye on this. Let's put that there. And if we can get up to around about here, that would take us exactly where we need to go. So we'll just keep an eye on this. So I'm zooming tight onto these two smaller ones. I don't need to be zoomed out. This is the chart. So the trouble is there is a leg and a leg there. So we could have a leg, trap some shorts, and a leg here. So as long as we get a decent second entry here, I wouldn't mind having a go at that, but I got to be careful. So the good thing is we got three slightly different setups, so that's what I want really. So we haven't had a second entry yet, so we can get a lower high and a good one. I wouldn't mind having a go at that, even if it's towards the lows, because with this leg I think it's likely we're going to come down. So that's no good for me at the moment. It's only a first entry. It may work. It's quite close to the EMA, but I'm sitting tight waiting for something a little bit better. Now, unfortunately, because we've got a leg with a break, it may just come down anyway. But even if we get a lower high, I'll take that. But I prefer to trigger below that, which we have on that chart. We have on both, actually. So a little bit of a pullback, and I'll have a go at that. Oh, it started to come back for a minute. This is just coming down. This is. Come on, give us a pullback. So I'm going to get an order ready just in case.
Order submitted.
Come on, trigger along. Come on, finish bullish, trigger along. That's what I wanted. Now come down, trap that long. Come on, leg and a leg, come down. So leg and a leg. It's not doing what I expected it to do. It's a very small risk, I will say that. The only bit that concerns me is this channel. This channel looks like we've had a break and a new low. So I'm just sitting tight here a minute. Have a look, see if we can get a lower high. channel for me is there with a break and a new low. So it makes that, anybody in this trade, it makes that a little bit more risky. See if we can get a lower high. We've got to get below there ideally. If we get below there, then that's good. But I just want to give this chance to stop that out because I have a feeling it may do. It's getting a bit congested now. It's going to take that out, I think. That's definitely going to trap some traders. I'm just going to delete that in a minute in case it shoots up. But that for sure is going to trap traders. Okay, so 2 legs up. I did right. Trouble is, we got that channel with a new low, so technically that's played out. The channel isn't really confirmed, so we've only really sort of touched it once in the middle, so I'd preferred it to trigger that bar there. So, first loss averted. See whether you've got this. See, we're breaking a new low, retest 2 legs up, see what happens here. I wanted a fail second entry shot, but didn't trigger the 3rd bar. Yeah. So it's just something didn't seem right about that. I just looked at that and think, well, I've just joined two together, so that to me is a leg and a leg. So technically, it's played out. And not only that, we got what looks kind of like a little bit of bottom in here. So you know, and you kind of just get a feeling. So I'm glad I listened to it there. But I tell you something, you can tell there was definitely going to be some traders in there for sure. It's kind of ranging, so if it's come off here, you naturally think the next area. I put that there thinking 2 legs up and down, but just looking on Thomas's, see if anybody's taken it. No, I don't think anybody has actually. Yeah, so the failure was there technically, wasn't it? But trouble is, I mean, it still could work, but ideally, what you want to do is trap it and nearly break. You know, give yourself a reasonable signal bar there. And what was my other charts like? Yeah, it's that smaller chart. It's kind of a bit too far up. That really, you want it to trigger below there, but. I very nearly took that. I very nearly did, but I have a sheet of paper on my desk that says taking a trade, look left. And I looked at this bottoming and then I thought, is that channel right? The trouble is, it's not really confirmed, is it? It's supposed to be 3 touches. We got 1 here, 2, but this is nothing really, is there? So I just move that over as a leg and a leg, and that tells me, woo, channel's played out. So we could pull higher. I still think it's likely we go down, but not before we take out maybe some liquidity. But I don't think there's anything larger. Maybe not. So lower, higher, or failure. I think it's gone now, I think, isn't it? Trouble is, once it goes. So that's the trouble of this chart compared to a couple of 3 years ago. A lot of the time now, you don't get a setup, it just goes. So we kind of got a leg and a leg. If we can get a break, something like this, under that midline, then I may have a go at something there. Akitri, how you doing, buddy? Come on, couple of legs up. So, there'll be some liquidity down here. So once we get below here, there'll be some possibly here and down the bottom. So I think there's a good chance this is going to get down the bottom. It's looking pretty bearish, to be honest with you. There's no hint of it pulling back. Whether it will or not, but it's, I don't know. Below there, there'll be some, so it's taking out stuff there as well. So this is quite bearish. Watched a few Max videos too. They're interesting, aren't they? Market was slow and different. It was different. Yeah, it does. It does. Have you noticed though some of his trades? You can see how much more inexperienced he is, can't you? And sometimes he moves it more than one tick, doesn't he? Moves it 2 or 3 ticks sometimes. In fact, I even watched one of his videos where he actually moved his stop a bit further, and it stopped him from getting stopped out, and the trade went on to win. So. Yeah, if you're bored any time, go and look at Max or Max early videos. He did a few more videos back then. But yeah, I think this is all. It's got to come down here for sure. This has, isn't it? Because there is, there'll be a lot of buyers below there, won't there? There's got to be. But yeah, they're interesting to watch. Actually, I kind of like doing that. But yeah, you can hear the difference experience. You mentioned in a video recently, struggled with admitting he was wrong in trades. Makes me wonder. Yeah, but the thing is, Jay, we've all done it. You know, even some of the most successful traders out there, we've all done it. We all kind of have to follow that path, don't we? I don't think trading comes, well, I dare say there are people who pick it up particularly quick. There are obviously people who have a lot more self-control than others. That's a fact of life. But, you know, everyone will revenge trade. Everyone will blow accounts. Everyone will move stops. We all do it. Absolutely, yeah. You tend to see these traders and you think, they had it easy, natural gifts. But no, you know, that's why I kind of like listening to experienced traders, because they understand it, because they've all been through it. It's almost like a rite of passage, isn't it? Everyone has to go through it. So yeah, you tend to think, but human beings aren't born. Well, they might be born with a mindset, but we have it drummed into us, don't we? About, the value of money, and money is everything. Money is key. Money makes the world go round, and all that sort of stuff. We get, we sort of, we like our stuff. We don't want to give it up. We hate losing things, So 5 days ago about his journey, put a great post in the forum. Did he really? Yeah, I'm not in there at the moment, so I might go back. I had a year, then I had 6 months off, then I had another year, and that year finished in December, I think. So that's interesting. A little leg in the leg. It's not looking brilliant on any of the other charts. Is that a bad thing? kind of don't want to get into this at the moment. We've just come off these lows. I prefer a lower high, really, not just there. If we get a lower high, I may have a go at that. Kind of like the way it's working off that midline. We'll see. So if that can be relatively bullish, and we can break above it. See, the trouble is sometimes if I move that, it makes it look a little better. Just looking if there was a break there. I don't think there is. Touch, 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 touch. It fits kind of perfectly. So I've got no qualms with saying that's already had a break, because I don't think it has. So many times then when we have a break and we have a bearish bar, it just comes down. You know, we like to think it's going to push up a bit, but if it's bearish enough, I think just traders are just getting into it, aren't they? I think. Yeah, I've had a look at that one, but just don't know whether it's just too large at the moment. It does work, but the trouble is it's hard to trade like that, isn't it? Because it's so wide at the moment. And we kind of know where it's going, doesn't it? I mean, maybe later in the day there might be something like that, but I did have that initially, which is kind of the same thing, really. It's working off the tops and working at the bottoms, but I think that's just a bit too broad at the moment. I don't even like having that just yet. Although it's kind of nice to be aware of it. Hidden second entry short. Yeah, there was. My only slight concern there, Bud, was this. In case there was something there. In which case we're quite to those lows. You don't know whether we're going to have a leg, a break, and another leg further up. This is interesting. A leg and a leg. How much did that come down? Let's see if it takes that out. So if you got in there, you'd have got, yeah, see that's the trouble there. You'd have got 6 ticks it would have had to push through. So I would have wanted a bit more there. So to get a bit lower down to here, I prefer another leg up. So on this chart here, we've got 2 attempts to go higher. Now this usually works. So leg and a leg and a bearish bar. Sometimes the thing is I wait for a lower high and it ends up tanking. So I'm just going to sit tight at the moment. Leg down, 2 attempts higher. Yeah, it's not in a rush, is it? Struggling a bit there, so that one's a little better. But it's still above that EMA. Channel down, leg. See if we can get a lower high. I do like the fact that we've got a channel with a leg in it. And in all honesty, these do usually work. We'll get a lower high. Leg down, 2 legs up. Get rid of that for a minute. Channel down, 2 attempts to go higher. You like to think this is going to come down to the bottom now, don't you? I mean, it did work for 2 points, I think. Maybe not quite. Yeah, see, that's okay. We've got a similar bar there and a doji there. So leg down, 2 attempts to push higher, push through the EMA. A triple test or a lower high, maybe. Can't come above there, though.
Order submitted.
On this chart, first entry there, we've got a new low here, so that would be a second entry short and a triple test. Be longs there, longs there. It's I'm not sure about this, so I'm just sitting tight. I don't like that bar. It's probably going to work, but no, I'm just sitting tight at the moment. But what it is, kind of a triple test, but it's also a little bit sideways, so I don't really want to get into a trade under that. A triple test is quite low to the lows, so that I wouldn't be surprised if that pushed above there. Obviously, there wasn't a triple test here. This one there was, but it was an inside bar. And this one, it was a bit of a doji, more or less, but above the EMA. It is 3 attempts to go over, but it's not convincing to me. The fact that it traps the longs there is one thing, but it didn't trap the longs on either of these two charts. So the easiest thing is to stay out of there, I think. We've got a break, 2 attempts to go lower. I'd expect this possibly to push up now. So channel down with a break, 1, 2 attempts to go lower. Are we going to push up or what? I don't know. See if all this gets broken. Yeah, so channel with a break, 2 attempts to go lower and then up. Let's see where it goes. Yeah, so this is a penguin style trade. Channel down with a break, made 1, 2 attempts to go lower and it failed. Now I'd expect penguin to take that if he does on a limit order around the middle because he'd want to get out by the top. So if he took that there, put his stop there, he'd be out of that trade now. So that's his type of style, leg down with a break. 2 clear attempts to push lower and a strong push up. In on the limit order, 1 for 1 and out at the top. So I'd be interested to see if he takes that. Yeah, I just try and try and make a note of these whenever they do this with a break and they make 2 clear attempts. 1 clear attempt and a strong push up, 2 legs down, and another clear attempt with a strong push up. Often that does shoot up then. But I just try and note these, and as my experience grows, then if we see that enough, break 2 attempts lower and a strong enough bar, then I may go along there in the future. But they're just, you can't help but notice stuff like this, even if we didn't have the Penguin trainer. But he is a guy that I like. He's a great trader in my opinion. So pretty much just ranging really. So it's definitely found some support there. So let's just pop that there actually. Leg and a leg. We had a perfect measured leg anyway, so that's played out. So channel with a small break and a new high. Or is it? Maybe it hasn't actually. No, I'd say probably not actually. I've just put a line there just because we bounced last time, so let's just, we haven't broke above it yet, so bounced off the daily trend line as well. So 1, 2, 3. There's 3 bars there that tried to push up. 2 have, but closed below that line. Excuse me. So I had some good news about that car I was going to buy with the other screen. I've managed to get a screen for £150. I asked them to knock some money off the car, and they came back to me this morning and said they'd made a bit of a mistake. They got it down as 51,000 miles, but the person who'd had it had changed it over to kilometres in the settings, so it's only actually done 30 odd. So they would have put an extra £1,200 on the value of the car if they sold it now, but they're willing to honour it at the same price. So happy days. So I've got to pay about 100. Very simple to fit. There's just 2 bits of trim to come off and a couple of bolts, and that's it. So happy days. It's going to cost me about 100, and we've saved now 15,000 miles, so pretty good. It's a Vauxhall Grandland X. It's like an SUV. Well, what we consider an SUV over here. Probably the equivalent of a Mini Cooper to you guys in the US, but it's all right. Nice little run around. 3 years old. 2021. So it's just my wife, really. But yeah, it's a nice little motor. Nice little run around. We only get small engines. It's a little 1.2 turbo petrol. I was looking for a diesel, but it's okay. It's nice. It's got all the gizmos and gadgets. All got sat nav, heated seats, DAB DB radio and all the usual bits and pieces, full leather. So it's nice. Aircon, dual climate control. So probably the stuff that comes as standard in units. See, we don't. Mind you, aircon does tend to come as standard now, but now this is interesting. Are we going to get a failure here? I was hoping this was going to finish bullish, and it's failed here. Now, am I going to take that failure? No, because we're quite a bit above that EMA. And we have had a channel. I don't think we've had a break, so I expect a new, there we go, a new high. So that moved really quick there. So it comes on new high. Or close to it. There we go. So there was a second entry long on that chart. I left it because it was a bit too far away. And because we've bounced off this a couple of times, my concern was it triggers and it comes down. But now that's above there, I think the next target is quite likely there. It's taken out any liquidity here. So, I don't know, is there going to be much there? Up here, yeah, not down here, I can't see it. So that is the next level, I think. So maybe, market's moving quite well, actually. So maybe we got a leg up, 2 legs back and another leg up. So I think there's a good chance to get up to this level here. Leg, 2 legs back and a leg. So we're always going to find a bit of resistance there. But it should still get through that. I expect it may pull back a bit, but I think with a leg and a correction and a leg, we're quite likely going to get above all this. So I'm not taking that short there just yet. So we have had a leg up with 2 legs back and 2 legs up. So this may work, but they can trap you, these things. So I'm just sitting tight here. If we get a lower high, we may come back to that EMA. So that triggers. I may take 1 for 2 points if we can get back to that EMA, but I think it's going to push above there. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, so up here's next, I think. I'm going to put that back to... Let's leave it there, actually. So, leg. And another leg, and that will take us up to about the same area. So, leg up, 2 legs back, a little bit of sideways, and a second leg up, broken into 2, that one. So, expect it to hit at least one of these, maybe 2. There is a lower high there. Trouble is, that second leg takes us to there, and the bigger leg takes us up there. So I think there's a chance we're going to push higher. So even if that finishes as a lower high, I'm probably going to stay out of it. It may come down a little bit, but I think it may still likely go up. So that just could be a bit risky. We're quite close to this, so I wouldn't want to take a second entry long there either. Yeah, so if you took that, trigger just stops you out pretty quick. I wouldn't want to take a lower high there, and it's just too far from the EMA. Although the one big thing it's got going for is a little double bottom, but I'm just sitting tight here. It's just way too far from that EMA. I kind of expect it to get up here, but I wouldn't want to take that in case it triggers you and comes down for another leg before we push up. That's too far from the EMA. See what I mean about a leg back and another leg back? So I wouldn't want to take that, and I wouldn't want to get into that because that's too far. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets stopped out, which would give us a leg back and a leg back. So if you think you're smart there going long and trapping the trades, I'm not saying it's going to take you out, but I wouldn't be pleased if I was in that trade. It's just too far from that EMA really, but it may hold. But, you know, there's going to be buyers buying there, isn't there? So now it's kind of getting a bit stacked, so it's 12 ticks as well, that bullish bar, so that's a fair old risk. Okay, so you'd still be in this. It was a tick off or a couple of ticks off taking you out. But that's kind of why I left it leg down with a break and a leg down. Now look, well, my bar similar to yours. The little chart does not have a break at end of day, does it? Yeah, so this has, the big chart you can see has it selected. The other two haven't. So all I do is just deselect it here and change the amount of days loading. That makes them slightly different. And all I'm trying to do is get them slightly different. And if they're all slightly different, I've got a better chance of getting a setup then. Yeah, but that's all I'm doing is after getting three slightly different. And they are slightly different if you look at them. That bar there is more bearish. The bar there is kind of bearish, but it's green, so it's a bit different. And that one there is more of a bearish pin bar. So they're all slightly different. So it does tend to... do you still watch the CL or any... just the ES. I think the problem is when you're scalping, it's fast moving. You really have to focus. And what I found I was doing, I did it a couple of times. I was focused on this, and then I looked up and saw, I think it was it a lower high? I think it was a higher low, and I jumped on it. And what I hadn't realised is the bigger picture, the context wasn't right, and I got caught out. And what I found is if I'm spending time, like I'm spending time watching this now, because I'm looking for a possible setup, I'm not focusing on the CL chart. And I just found out I got into trouble a couple of bits. So, you know, from talking to other traders, what I realised is quite a few traders do this second or third chart where they have this end of day deselected, and it gives a slight variation in the signal bars. Because you know as well as I do, I don't know how many times we end up getting a break, but a poor signal bar. So if you look at this chart here, if you look there, that was actually a nice second entry long. I left it because we're getting close to highs, and it was a little bit far from the EMA. But if you just from a pure second entry long, it was a nice two legs down and a nice bullish bar, which worked. But on my main chart here, that trade there, the bar isn't very good. On this one here, it's a bit better. So I've kind of got the best of both worlds, so I can kind of have my cake and eat it, if you know what I mean. And the beauty is I can stay zoomed into this like that because it's the same chart. I don't have to think about you know, because it's not a different chart. This, I know exactly what the picture's doing because I can see it on here. All this is just the devil in the detail, that's all. So it just gives me a couple of extra cracks at the whip. Only using QT today. QT. When I start is similar to, when you say QT, you mean quant hour? Is that what you mean, bud, is it? So I just found I couldn't pay enough attention to quant hour yet. I've actually downloaded it. It's, in fact, if I move that, you can probably see it. Yeah, there it is, top corner there. And I've been having to play around with it just to sort of see what it's like. So yeah, I like this. I only need to focus on the big picture here. All this is the detail. There is a second entry long there as well. But this is a bit sideways. So 1, 2. I'm not a fan of what I'm seeing here. It's a bit congested. So I'm just going to sit tight here. It may work, it may not. Yeah, I'm going to bring that over to there. Yeah, it's a little bit sideways. Not only that, we've had the move up, we've had a break, we've tried once, twice to make a new high, so this looks like it may be getting trapped. It might hold, but looking on this chart, it looks even more bearish, so I'll be amazed if that doesn't trap that. But I'm still not ready to go long or short yet. There's been a lot of liquidity there and some there, so that's probably that's it. So new high, try to go once, try twice, fail it. But the trouble is price is still above the EMA and it is sideways, so it could push up. Take out the liquidity down here and push up, which is kind of done, isn't it? Definitely some short. See, we've taken out. No, there's still some liquidity there. I'm going to say there'll be more up here, so I still think this is probably going to go up. At the moment, I'm just sitting tight. With Quantower, I can have apex, but yeah, I believe you can, mate. Yeah. I am playing around with it because it is a little bit, I don't know, it's more complicated. It looks a bit more complicated, but these things, I mean, Ninja Trader's a lot more basic, I think. But yeah, I do like the idea of that. So I think it's maybe the next stage. So I've just got it and I tend to just have a little play around with it. I was tempted to take that if it was a little bit better because we kind of taken out any stops there and there. And what's left liquidity wise up here. So, yeah, I am having a play around with it. And at some point, I notice another trader buddy of mine, Martin, is using it from time to time as well. So I would suggest that this is likely going to push up now. Once we get a decent signal bar, it usually then moves on. So I'd say, looking at these levels here, so that's played out now, or near us. Another tick and it will do. So, and then that one. So either of those, they both will. I'll be surprised if that doesn't push above there. So I'm wondering if that's like a spike in a channel. So I'm going to remove that because we're a tick above there now. So that's as good as worked. But there will be some liquidity up there quite possibly. So I wouldn't be surprised if we break the highs of the day or overnight highs, whatever you want to call them. So breakout, pullback. And a tip. Start 90. Code gives you 90% discount with Bullanox. Not sure when it ends. I've not had a go at any others, but I did plan to have a go at Top Step and Bullanox. They're the two I hear people talking about. But I kind of like it at the moment because for the last 6 weeks I haven't had to pay a penny towards trading, so I kind of like where I am at the moment. But the plan is to get these accounts up to $3,000 each and then take a $500 payment from each and try and do that every month, and then whatever else I make on top of the 500, which shouldn't be difficult. It's only $125 a week per account. That shouldn't be difficult. And then whatever I make on top of the £500 a month, I'll just let the account grow. And then once I get to that level, I may start to look at a couple of others. Because I think it's always good to, you know, if you're making money, you might as well make money from other prop firms as well, if you can get to that stage where you're starting to make consistent money. Let's see what happens here now. We're at the bottom of this again. One thing with Bullanox, when funded, you have to trade every 5th day. You mean you can't leave it for more than 5 days? Is that what you mean? Or you have to trade, that's a bit of an odd one, isn't it? Every 5th day. Do you mean you can't not trade for 5 days if you don't trade for 5 days? Is that what you mean? I've kind of heard that before somewhere. Not necessarily with Bullanox, but I've heard if you miss, because I remember talking to some other traders saying, well, what if you go on holiday for a couple of weeks? Strange, isn't it? I mean, traders, they go on holiday, don't they? You might not trade for a week or so. What if you're ill? Yeah, I asked them. They said it was okay. If you said, okay, right, okay. So if I remember rightly, it's either UProfit does that or Earn to Trade. I did a bit with UProfit and Earn to Trade, and I heard that from them as well. You can go on holiday, but you have to let them know. Which Apex don't do. I mean, to be honest with you, as far as I'm concerned, the best is for me is Apex. They've got the least amount of, well, I don't know if I'm wording that correctly. I think, yeah, things like those rules. I know they've implemented these rules now, but from my trading style, it doesn't affect me. It didn't before because I never traded without a stop. I never, you know, entered into a trade, whether it be a winning trade or a losing trade. I always, the only thing I ever did in the past was if I'm in a trade and it's working and we get another setup and I'm holding a runner, then I may enter into a winning trade. But, yeah, a PA account trade for 7 months, just sitting there. Yeah. That's the thing I like about Apex. They haven't got any what I would call really problematic rules. Now, to some traders, obviously trade a different style who may enter into, you know, other styles, then yeah, I can understand it being, but from my style perfectly, as a Pats trader, I just tend to, you know, I open a trade, I let it run for 2 points and I'm in and out. So my style of trading is about as straightforward as you can get. I don't, you know, I'm not entering into anything else once I'm in and I'm out, and that's pretty much how I kind of like it, actually. So there's nothing in the rules really that would even affect me in any way. I'm not revenge trading anymore. I sit here and I wait for a trade. I think the only thing that they do is, I'm pretty sure if you want to take out, because you take a payment twice a month with Apex, but I believe you have to trade for a minimum of 10 days before. So that would indicate you've got to trade every single day during the 2 weeks if you want a second payment. Now, there are some days where I don't trade in a day. You know, some days, I'd say out of 2 weeks, there's probably 3 days where I don't take a trade, maybe even more. So I wish they kind of do away with that, or maybe just take it down to 5 days. So I'm getting rid of that now because I'm not a fan of it, to be fair. So we've made a bunch of attempts to go high and we've come down. So whether there's anything larger there, That leg and leg is played out. This one hasn't. I don't think that really matters. So let me just check first before I start thinking about shorts, whether that could... It could possibly be. Payout with top step is the best. You can request anytime fast. I believe Apex are trying to do that. There was that video going around where we had to vote. So I don't know if I told you this, but I started to fill the form in when I had to vote, and it asked how many evaluations you failed. And as I've failed over 500, I didn't want to say, because I didn't want them to start looking at my account thinking, hey, we got a loser here. So I stopped filling the form in. I think if I told them I got over 500, I'll be on their radar then, and I kind of wanted to be the grey man and fade in the background, but that's before I realised there's a lot of traders with a lot more. But I believe they are trying to trade that, and I think Apex, with the hiccups they've had, their reputation has probably took a little bit of a dent. So they are working on, I believe, updating their data provider, which should hopefully make things a lot more secure. And I'd like to think as well, and they have mentioned this, that they're going to bring in payments anytime. So anytime you want a payment, as long as you've traded the relevant days, you can put in for a payment and it's going to be quick. And I think if they implement those two things, they'll go back to being number one with a solid reputation. I mean, the reputation is okay to me. I wouldn't trade with them otherwise, but you know, I think you know, some news like that I think would make happy traders. I think something I lost 4 PAs due to orange orders. Yeah, I just, that to me makes my blood boil. I think if you sell a package and you say you have to use this bit of software, it's not your choice, it's not my choice, it's Apex choice. I think they need to stand up. I haven't, touch wood, I haven't lost a PA account because of it. I've lost an evaluation, but I think the only reason I lost the evaluation is because something went wrong and I lost a bit and I was kind of frustrated and I probably blew it myself. But and then they shrug off their shoulders. Yeah, I never lost internet. Yeah, I mean, we're not stupid. We've been trading long enough to know where the problem is. And when you trade every single day, you know what it is. So yeah, you know, the problem with Rhythmic closing the trade and staying open in Ninja doesn't worry me because I know how to, you know, I know how to mitigate that. But that's the one thing that does make me nervous is the orange orders, which is why I always, you know, open orders here. I kind of like to move them a little bit, but even so, sometimes when you drop them in, or what I find canceled. When you drop them in, it's not so bad, but when you move them quickly, that's when things can go wrong. And that does scare me, which is why I only trade 10 of my 20 PAs. But I have heard people say that is a Rhythmic issue. Sorry, a Ninja Trader issue. And I reached out to Ninja Trader and they said, do this and do that. So, but I've never heard people trading their own live account having the problem. So I think it probably is related to either Rhythmic or Apex or something like that. So that makes sense to me. We're not stupid. We know what a powerful enough computer. If you haven't got a strong enough computer, we know it can make things a little bit more riskier. We know that if we've got naff internet, but you know, I've got a gigabit. It's super quick. My upload and download speed is over 950 megabits per second, so it's plenty. You know, I hardwired all mine, so I'm not on Wi-Fi. So I've, you know, taken all the steps. At the end of every day, I always wipe all the cache, so I keep mine in tip-top condition, so I know if there's something wrong, it's not down to my internet, it's not down to my computer. And when you've been trained a few years, you know, you're not daft. So I just hope it does sort these problems out, because Apex have taken a bit of a battering lately. And I'm pretty sure they don't want all the headaches. They want to people to trade and happy, because people are going to, you know, they've lost customers. There's no two ways about it. People are going to, you know, if you've recently lost a lot of PAs and they won't do nothing, you're probably going to walk. Yeah, I do it every single day. I have something on my chart which I downloaded from Apex. I think it's called the Apex. I have shown you before. Let me do it again. If anybody hasn't got this, you can load it from Apex. It's called Apex Desktop Assistant. It should pop up somewhere. There it is there. So if I click in here, it won't let me do it. If I click there and then click Ninja Trader, might not let me do it. Please shut it down. It gives me the option to clear cache and it does it all for me. And then I just exit. And I do that at the end of every single day. So everything's fresh and up to date. As soon as I've finished, I mark my chart up. I check where I went right and wrong. I set my stream for tomorrow. And the last thing I do is wipe that every single day without fail. There is a lower high here, but this could be a leg and a leg. So I'm just staying out of this. Yeah, it will. Yeah, they have. Yeah, I think they're okay. I understand people are frustrated, but if you can give them the benefit of the doubt, I think they'll put these things right. I mean, I was saying this the other day, and someone emailing me saying, "Well, you're bound to say that you got a vested interest." Well, yeah, of course I have. If I've got shares in Apple, I don't want to see them go down, do I? You know, I'm invested in the company. I want to see them do well, and I wouldn't have come here first if I. You know, so yeah, I am biased. If anybody's got peer accounts, they're biased. Of course you will. But, you know, companies have teething problems. It's a fact of life. You know, what was it? So many years ago, there was a load of Apple phones catching fire. They got damaged. But Apple are one of the biggest companies in the world. And, you know, if that can happen to them, Apex are a blip in the ocean compared to, you know, large companies. So it can happen. So sometimes you've just got to grin and bear it a bit, but I'm pretty sure they're not far away from sorting these problems out. They want a peaceful life themselves. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they've got to offer, and hopefully if they bring in these instant payments, that'll be nice as well. As soon as you hit your target, you haven't got to wait till the middle of the month or the end of the month. You can just got a payment. So I'm getting rid of that now, I think. So trouble is, these are hard to trade, these are, because it is rangy, but every time we're hitting highs, we're doing it in a different level. So, leg, 2 legs back and a leg, so leg and a leg. So I'd expect to pull back before we go much further. So, leg and a leg. It's too steep for me, that is. So, picking off liquidity. There'll be some under there for sure, because on some charts that looked nice. So that'll go, which it has. That little quick spike there. Once it gets a few ticks below these, they tend to have a spike then. So, there'll be some here, definitely. That one there. Channel down with a break, 2 attempts to go low and a strong push up, so there'll be some liquidity below there, so I absolutely believe that'll get down here. There may be a bit of an overshoot, so we may get a stronger pullback before it comes further, or it might just tank. Who knows? So there'll definitely be some below there, so once we get below there, down here, 100%, whether it'll get that low, or whether, you know, any longs may defend that. I don't know, but this thing's just coming and coming, isn't it? I'm free fall, yeah. This as well, by the looks of things. What's that come down to? 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 points pretty quickly. If it gets below there, it'll go down a bit more. Yeah, look at it. See, that's a fact. I did look at that trade there. The trouble is, I'd gone out for 2 points, so. But if you can time that and you can get a bit lucky there and follow down each bars, you can get a really nice trade there. Someone's just said, did Biden fall down again? The thing is, once it gets below there, liquidity-wise, the next bit of liquidity, and as we know, and I've done a lot of research of this, price does move to liquidity. The next lot of liquidity is below there. So I suppose because there's so much there and absolutely nothing here, the next place would be below here. So it just continued to drop. So below 20k now. So I suppose if you identify a lot, I am looking more into these liquidity levels because I started reading a lot about ICT and that guy talks a lot about these levels. And kind of when you see them, you kind of understand that, right, yeah, okay, so, we kind of know where stops are, but I've thought about it as a stop, not necessarily an area where market push towards liquidity, but so there'll be some down here. There's bound to be big, strong 2 legs down, nice big bullish bar, and an equally nicer, even better looking higher low. So after those 2 legs, maybe traders looking for a leg up or something, or up to the new high, up to the highs. So leg and a leg, leg and a leg. So yeah, pretty much just ranging at the moment. Running out of screen here. Okay, straight through there. Is that going to spike? A little spike down. Or is it going to hold? So yeah, it came down for exactly where we thought it was going to. It usually takes a few ticks before it moves. Or is it going to hold? Yeah, there it goes. A little spike down. So now let's have a look at this. So in fact, Brant, yeah, I agree. I'd be inclined to message him again and just say, this is ridiculous, this. You're going to have to do something, or I'm going to start, just tell him you're in some of the Facebook groups and you're going to start talking to other traders and we're going to start moving somewhere else. I'd escalate it still politely, but I wouldn't be able to handle just losing 2 or 4 of them without at least escalating it slightly. I mean, it's kind of, what's the point in trading? What's the point in taking an evaluation if when you get a PA account, you're probably going to break down, you're going to lose it all? It makes no sense. If you bought a car and they said, yeah, there's a good chance it's going to break down and you're going to lose the value of it completely, you'd run a mile. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think putting all your eggs in one basket, which I have at the moment. So, yeah, I definitely think it's worth looking at other ones. Better to do it now, because if something does go wrong or tits up, you're kind of then forced to, which can take a bit of time to get to know other companies. So, but for me, Apex have to honour it. I think they do. That's my opinion on it. Especially as they say, you don't use Rhythmic out of choice. You're told to, as part of signing up for Apex. Or they need to put it in big, bold red letters that we are experiencing issues with Rhythmic and there is a possibility that you could lose part of all your accounts. How can you sell something and not say that? When you are profitable, then grow your accounts with others too. Yeah, I will do. It is the plan to get some, which is why I am slowly looking at Quantower, because that seems to be the go-to place when you start to earn money. I notice traders that start to be earning regular money that then start picking bits up from their own account, and then obviously other profit makes sense, doesn't it? I tell you, one thing we've got going for us at the moment is social media. The people have got a bit of power. social media is really powerful. I mean, you can damage companies really with the power of social media if you get enough people behind you. It's so easy to connect with other people nowadays. Go back years ago, you never had a hope you'd get walked all over, but at least now we have got the power of talking to each other, and you can do stuff. At least you've got more of a chance of doing stuff. It's like if they have a flat right outage and it happens to a lot of people, they do something about it because they're probably willing to lose a few traders, but not a ton of them. So channel down with a break. Now, have we already had a break and a new low here? Hard to say. Yeah, they are, yeah. Trouble is, if you start to delete comments and stuff like that, you're starting to turn into a dictatorship, and that's not what it should be about. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Apex, but people have to have the right to speak. We live in a free society. You've got to have the right to air your grievances, and if you've been hard done by, you have to speak up. But yeah, I don't think you either have a place, a Discord where people can air their problems, or you don't. You don't have it, and then when you don't like a comment, delete it. People have the right. If people are hard done by, you have the right to speak up. Okay, so there's a possible lower high. I'm not sure how I feel about this because it's quite a funny channel there. So, and not only that, this could break. It could be a failed breakout. This so. I'm not just ready to go short just yet. Trading discussions, but the trouble is, you talk about trading, but if you're having issues with rhythmic and this, that, and the other, what's the natural conversation going to be? It did get a bit silly that though, didn't it? I mean, some of the silly threats from some of the moderators was a bit OTT, I think. So it did work that, but yeah, you can't threaten people. If you get problems, we won't help you out and stuff. It's petty then. If you're a professional company, you can't act like that. Trend is so strong, yeah, maybe. There was a small lower high there, which probably wasn't a big, but my only slight concern is because we've been ranging so much, whether we break out and push back in. Your bars look different. Yeah, see, I got no higher low here and no higher low here, but I have here. So, and not only that, to me, on two of them, it doesn't look, if you go from there, like we've had a break yet, see, so there's definitely no break there. I can't see anyone on Thomas Wade's putting it. Yeah, there's no break there either. So, yeah, I mean, on this chart there, you can't go short. On this chart there, you definitely can't go short. This one, you could have done. You were a trap in the longs, but the fact of this like that, my concern is it's going to push in. So, if I was just staying out of it for me, but this is starting to look quite strong, isn't it? We're getting lots of little red bars, and it's working again. So, look, we've had that. We came down off the highs, didn't we? So we've had that drop initially, which took us down by about, let's say, 90 points. And then we've had maybe a correction, maybe a few attempts to go higher, and maybe we're going to eventually have this other big push down. However, in what form it's going to happen. But we're definitely due some downtime. Pull back with a lower high. Good signal bar on my chart. Let's have a look here. It just didn't look right here. Here, for starters, on this chart, we got a clear micro trend up like that, and there's nothing you can do there. There's no liar ho. There's no lower high. That one you wouldn't because of the stem, and same here, nothing here really. You could maybe say no, it's just not enough of a break really. I think I find questionable is they find a reason to always have a sale. Yeah, I know. they'll happily dangle a carrot in front of your eyes and say, here we go, nice and cheap, come and get them. But then they fail to say, well, okay, as well as sell you this, we are obliged to say that, you know, we use a piece of software called Rhythmic that is liable for problems, and there is a possibility you could lose some or all of your accounts. You have to say that to people, really. I mean, there may be something in the small print, but I've never had anybody say it, and if it is there, it's probably well hidden. The trouble is, if there is more profitable traders, it sounds to me like they do want to try and copy your trades, because they seem to want to rule out the riskier types of strategies, like the add into losing trades. I understand not having a stop, because if you're copying someone and you realise they don't have a stop, I understand the uncertainty with that. That makes sense. So I don't know. I hear people say that, you know, you move on to a live account, then they copy you. They must have a series of levels, evaluations, people blowing them, then people making a bit of money with PAs, and then people turning into a good trader that we need to start making money off. But the thing is, you've got us guys who've been here, so let's say for 3 years now, and we're starting to become profitable. Okay, but then you've got the next generation of newbies coming in now, and they're, you know, paying for all the evaluations where we have. So you think there's a continuous line of new guys coming in. Trading's getting more and more, more and more fashionable. People are doing it. People realise, if you work at it, you can make money from the comfort of your own home. So I don't know. Perhaps, I don't doubt they have been scammed, or there are people trying to scam them. I don't doubt it. So perhaps that's why they've decided to put the foot down with the rules. But I don't know. We can only see. You never quite know what's around the corner, do you? So leg down. We've tried to come back in. So it can't continue down that steep. So it makes sense to come down at a slightly less steeper of an angle. So let's see what happens here. Bearish bar there. That's interesting. Let's see if we get a lower high. We're getting some volatility, aren't we now? Okay, let's see if we get a trigger up here. It's just coming down, isn't it? Let's get a pullback. Come on. Let me just get an order ready.
Order submitted.
Yeah, that's what I like to see. Thomas has just put that up. So we're thinking along the same lines. Oh, that's just gone. That's a shame.
Order cancelled.
I like the way it's come right up to that and dropped. I wanted confirmation, really. It's fair enough. So clearly it'll push up, however you want to look at it. With a break and a new high, almost went right up to there. Well, you can argue it did if I can adjust that fraction. Went up there, literally kissed that and dropped. It came down pretty quick, so I think that's a pretty good indicator where we're going. Okay, so we haven't come down to the bottom here, so let's see what happens. If we don't come down at the bottom, I would say we are likely going to get a break. And if we do get a break, let me have a look. That may go a bit sideways, so let's see what happens here. But we're at the bottom here. and we've come down a distance from there. So for me, I think it's likely we get a break here. There is a second entry short here, but I don't like this. This is almost like, it looks bottoming to me, so I think that second entry short is going to trap some traders. I might be wrong, but I don't like all this. I've got something on my chart that says, taking a trade, look left, and there's a lot of support here. So that for me is risky. It's actually not a bad setup. It's a second entry short. We've gone above the main, dropped down nice and bearish, but I think that's a bit risky. Purely and simply, we've come away from the bottom of this channel here, and when we do that, often we make a break, or more often than not. So I'm staying out of that, and the way that's pushing up, I wouldn't be shocked if that gets stopped out. Yeah, it's almost definitely going to be, there's going to be a bags of liquidity there for sure. Yeah, so trap buggers, aren't they? Market traps there. See, if you're on a smaller chart, you're thinking leg down, a second entry short, lovely big bearish bar, let's go short. What happens? Triggers you, pushes up, stops you out. Whenever we don't come down to the bottom of this, we almost always have a break, or more often than not. So yeah, don't get, I mean, it wasn't a great setup here, but here it was on this chart. It was actually a second entry short. And you think leg and a leg, but I don't like this anyway for a start. Something I don't like about it. So let's see if we make a couple of attempts to go higher, and then maybe look for something like a lower high. So channel down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. Let's see where this one goes. See channel with a break, new low, retest, and then up. You could do a bunch of stuff here. Okay, that's failing to me, so I think we're likely to hit this low. So if we can get a lower high, I'd like to trap some, look at that thing. I'd like to trap some longs. So channel down, two attempts to go higher, lower high here on there. Trouble is, price is above the EMA, and that's what's scaring me. Okay, maybe we're bottoming. Let's get rid of that now. And that. Now I'm just going to do this. So, channel with a break, another channel with a break, and a new low. It does look almost like it's bottoming there. Channel break, new low, channel break, new low. I mean, it could still come down. It's kind of a bit of sideways and a leg and a leg. So it could still come down. That's pretty bearish, that is. Okay, folks, I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break, make a cup of tea. We'll be back. So, 5-minute jumpy. There we go. Okay, so 3 to 5 minutes, quick cup of tea, and I'll be back. Right, let's have a look at this. Okay, that may be larger. So we're working sideways. Often we do that. We have a couple of legs down, then we go sideways here. Whether we will or not, who knows? But just going to run that through there. Kind of works actually. Yeah, it kind of plays support right the way through there, so that's interesting. I looked at this earlier, but we weren't up high enough. We kind of are now. We were only down here when I tried that, but that doesn't look that bad. So there is a possibility there could be something larger, a leg down. So I'm just going to kill the colour on that and call it an area of interest. I would say that is quite probably an overshoot. Now we're coming this way. So we'll zoom out. So we got a leg down, pull back, and much pull back up we made. Just over 50%. If we go to the highs of the day, let's say in exactly a 50% pullback, so that's interesting. So let's have a look. So that to me looks like an overshoot. It may be there, but it just doesn't look right, that. I'd want to keep that a bit tighter. So that to me is probably an overshoot. So channel down, push up. So I'd like a couple of attempts to go higher. Be nice to trap some traders here somehow. Okay, so depending on what you look at this, there is a higher low there. Let's see if that triggers. Interesting. That's an inside bar though. It looks better on here, but you gotta be careful here. I want a lower high here. See if we get a lower high. push up. Push.
Order submitted.
Hmm. It's getting a bit sideways here, so I'm just going to
Order
have to sit on
canceled.
this. There's more liquidity above this than below it. It's going to push up for me, I think. There's more liquidity above it to take than there. There's that bit there. There's nothing here, really. So I think that's likely going to push above there, possibly there. There is a failure there, but we're already at these lows. That bar's massive, so I ain't interested in that. So a tick above it, tick below it. 4.25. I ain't risking 4.25 points there. That's $4,200 risk. I'm not doing that. Just it's a bit sideways as well. Not only that, if you're looking at this one here, we're already at the lows here, so it just I got mixed feelings what's going on here. There just seems to be maybe a bigger picture. There's also some support down there, so it's just risky. Yeah, just risky. So leg down. I think there's a good chance this is going to go right down, actually. I was tempted there, but I ain't risking 4.25 points to get 2. No, that's just too much there. Trouble is, it pulled back, pushed up, and before it triggered, it's a bit late then. We came down. We did come back a bit, but not enough. I want it to come back a little bit further there. And not only that, it's a bit congested there. I got an idea where it's going to go. Trouble is, you've always got that possibility that this is a bigger channel and you've got 2 legs back and it's going to push up. But for me, I think this is more likely, but more likely isn't a good enough reason. I want to be confident I know. I know there's still always a slight risk, but there's a difference between a slight risk and being completely unsure. High volume at 56.20. Yeah, there will be. Because there's a couple of bounces here, a leg and a break, and then a bounce. So there's going to be some stops down there for sure, really. We're pushing up, aren't we? So this is targeting that area. Okay, so we're a tick below there. I'd say that's going to have to go down a little bit more. Someone's saying there's liquidity down here. Yeah, I like what's it's just put that bigger channel on as well. Taylor, so he's thinking along the same lines as me, so that makes me feel a bit better. Okay, we're below there now, so that's definitely having a push, clearing out them cobwebs. Well, this thing's dropping good and proper, isn't it? Excuse me a sec. So, where's my legs gone to? Let's put that there somewhere. So, I think that's likely. So, there's a possibility of this. I think that's more likely, and also that as well, it's possible. Okay, excuse me, just a second. Okay, sorry about that. Car sorted. Okay. Right, so it looks like we are heading down here. Where'd that come from? So, I think there may be something a bit steeper down here now, so I'm going to do that. Or even that. Let's ditch this for now. Yeah, I kind of like that one. So, as long as we don't get too low, we could do with a pullback. A couple of legs up, we may get something. Volume, I just mean volume. Yeah. So yeah, shimmer didn't take that now, innit? It is frustrating. See, if we only knew what we knew. Look at that. If you'd have taken that now. Oh, look at that. It's just 20 points. Straight down 20 points from that one. Sometimes that's kind of the straw that breaks the camel's back, wasn't it? We try and go up a few times, and once we get below this, it tends to just move then, doesn't it? So, someone's saying tech stocks getting hammered, down 17% in 2 days. What's happening with Bitcoin? I got some more buy orders. I have. Bitcoin's dropping a bit. Oh, nice. We've had a nice pullback there. We've gone past next. What's it? So interesting. So hopefully we can get down to about 61,000. I've got a bit of money there to buy. Okay, so it pretty much does look like we got down something larger. So if we can get close to this bottom, I think there's a good chance we're going to get back up somewhere. Okay. Wow, look at that. Well, I think it's obvious where that's heading. So we're getting very close to this measured move from here. There's also a possibility of a leg down sideways, a couple of attempts to go higher, and then another leg down. So that's a possibility as well. I mean, it's definitely having a decent sized pullback. So it makes sense that it might end up being lower. It's getting close to lows here, so just sort of staying out of anything. Yeah. Okay, we're so close to this bottom, I just can't get into a trade here. If we can have a leg and get up to this, which was a possible bigger channel. See on here, it doesn't look too bad, but that's a massive ass bar, that is. I'm just not risking it to get into there, it's just too risky. It's probably not as big as you think, but I mean, we're almost at the bottoms here, so it's just too risky to take that. It may collapse and drop down, but there's just, I can't see there being a lot of liquidity down here, personally. Would you buy anywhere there? If you bought there, it's too late. So yeah, you can't go long here. There's not going to be any liquidity down here really. So we could just, it's probably while we're still going sideways, but we've still got the possibility down there. But I don't, can't trade. You can't get short here at the moment anyway, just in case, because once you get close to those lows, you don't know whether traders are going to start taking profits. So you can't go long or short here, really. It's a bit congested sideways, so. Which of those is Y-arm? Oh, is your main chart. The big one, mate. The large one that you can see is the one that has got break at end of day selected. The two smaller ones, top left and right, are the ones where it's deselected. And all I'm trying to do is just get them to look different. So I've just changed the days to reload. And I've just, look at this thing. There we go, look at that. Boom. Look at that. Touch. Straight down, right onto it. And it still amazes me that does how accurate that thing is. Yeah, all I'm trying to do with these is just adjust them till I can get them, you know, the signal areas looking just a little bit, all these areas looking slightly different. But I love it when it does that, pushes straight down, bounces and pulls back, whether it's going to push continue or not. But I do love that. It does amaze me how accurate those legs are. Really does. Mine looks like one of the ones at the bottom left, does it? I don't know what I've done on my chart today. Let me just, I'm not as sure if I reloaded this one today. Let's reload it anyway. See if it makes a difference. Right. Has that helped? Well, bloody charts all over the place now. Let's have a look. That's the only thing is when it does that, it's annoying. Let me just zoom in out a bit. So that's played out, so let's just remove that. Let's take this up there. Is that any different? Is that any better? In fact, I will just do that. Because just in case this comes up to there. Let's kill the colour and change these to blue or something. Blue, blue, blue. So touch, touch, touch. Fitting quite nice there. Coming away, so I expect a break. Also a bit of an overshoot, so a couple of legs up. Trouble is, now we've had that measured move played out, I kind of not really interested in taking shorts at the moment. It's just getting a bit hard now. So that to me is a bit of an overshoot. See, when you think it can't go any lower, the thing just keeps on going. But look at this; it's at those bottoms now. Let's see if this holds. We've had an overshoot with a pullback and a new low. So let's see if we bounce here. Yeah, Taylor's got the same as me again. He's just put that on, so he's got that small piece down there, same as me. So I kind of like that. It does give me some sort of point of reference, and I can see that other people are doing. We've got that tight bit in there and this bit there with the little overshoot, the pullback and a new low. And we are holding at the moment along that line, which is good news because we did the same here and here. We had a little bounce before we started going up, and then we got touch, touch, touch. So I kind of like that. Let's see if it does continue down. But there is another possible leg down here, which happened a couple of days ago. So from the all-time highs, leg down, a little bit of sideways, a few attempts to go higher, and then down. So I won't be surprised if we get further down here. Doesn't seem to be in a hurry to push up. The trouble is, once it gets so far down, it gets hard to trade then, because what the hell's going on? So damn steep, isn't it? I mean, how far are we down for the day? From the highs, we're down 65 points so far. Yeah, we had to have a reasonable pullback, didn't we? I think at some point, because this thing has just been keep going up and up and up for months. Let me just see. There's got to be a bigger channel here now. It's just getting hard to read. So I'm going to kill the color on that for now because it's just looking a bit complicated. And I'm also going to put some color in there. Kill that one. So far, we've gone from here to that next swing and another swing. It seems to be it's getting hard to read because the thing's that steep. When you're sort of blowing up a bit, it comes in one corner and disappears out the other. Yeah, there is a second entry there, but I don't like the way this is flattening. And if it's an overshoot, it's 2 legs down. So that, I reckon, will get stopped out. So let's think now. Bigger channel, this one here for now. So leg up and a bearish part. Now that looks a little bit better. Right, it's getting a bit complicated, all this. So let's get rid of the smaller one. No, the small. So from the top to that next swing, and you can see those 3 as well before the drop. And we're up to the bottom. And now we've got a break. So it's quite a big push down, so we may get a pretty steep, a decent size correction. So channel down with a break. Thomas has literally just put that on right this second, so just confirms to me I'm thinking, oh, pause, what's happened there? I'm thinking about the right thing. Oh, man, I hate that. I hate that. No. Crappy crap. Hate that when it gets stuck between 2. Damn thing. I have to just close the window. I'll open it again. Always does. Hate it when it gets stuck between screens. And now it's gone exactly the same place. Why can't I move it? Oh, damn thing. Excuse me. It opens exactly where it finished. See if it opens the same again. Please don't. Why does it do that? Why does it do that? Pin to task. Close. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, that's so annoying. Hate it when stuff like that happens. Let's try one more time, see if it's going to open exactly the same damn place. I know it is. Right, how do I get rid of this? How do I move it? Because it's in between. How do I move it when it's in between fingers? Come on. Oh, there we go. Finally. And now this is screwed up. Oh. Oh, you flipping goddamn thing. Oh, no. Don't do this to me. Sorry about this. Why does it do that? Why? Flipping computers. I hate goddamn computers. Damn. Damn. Does that come from the bottom? It has, hasn't it? I think. I put it back there. Anybody know how I put this back at the bottom of the screen? Just check the one at the bottom. Yeah, it's come from the bottom to the top. Anybody know how I do that? The taskbar's gone to the top. Anybody know? What's this? No. Oh, two nice legs up. I'm just going to have to leave it there for now. I can't figure out how to get rid of it, to be fair. What is this? Why is this? Click and drag it to the bottom. Ah, fantastic. Well done, my friend. Brilliant. Let's get back to normal. I was going to take that one. Brilliant. Easy when you know how, isn't it? That's annoying. Okay, I'm back to normal. Yeah, good. Thank God for that. Thanks for that, Zen. I was very tempted to take that, but I was in the middle of getting frustrated, so I thought I'll just leave it. Channel down, 2 attempts to go higher. See if we can get a lower high. But it won't give us it, it'll just tank. Betcha. Just like the way it went to that midline. Don't come down without giving us a lower high, please. Please, please, please. The wrong main chart. Have I? The wrong main chart. Oh. Oh no. This is this. I just did this slightly different. No. It is the same. It is the same. I just did that something different. Mine looks like the one at the bottom left, does it? I don't know. As long as it looks like one of them, that's the main thing. Let's have a look. As long as it looks like one of them. Yeah, see, this is the one with break at end of day selected, and the other one isn't. This is it deselected. So we're lucky. Yeah, it's deselected there. Okay, I wouldn't take that short there because it's risky. Looking for a second entry short here. Come on, have a little pullback. Yeah, Thomas Wade took that bar. His bar looked a little better than mine. His was just a little bit more bearish. So he's in and out of that now. Good on him. Channel, that one I played out from the new high, but trouble is it's too far for a high low. That really, it's just a first entry. Mac will tell you it's a first entry, so we got a channel down with a break. It's only a first entry, that's the thing. So, yeah. Trouble is that I don't like all the dojis. That's concerning me. Trouble is we've got a channel down. It is really just a short-term channel with the breaks. It's only really a first entry. So, it was ideal. Oh, dear. It's so bearish, isn't it? How many points are we down today then? It's got to be down here, I think, isn't it? So let's see how far we're down today. From the highs, we are down 70 points so far. Trouble is, what the hell do you do now? We've had a break. We've had a new low. Nothing you can do at the moment. First entries of the bet. It's funny you say that, mate. Thomas Way's just commented. I've just put only a first entry for me, and he's put lower high. Can be a first entry. It confirms the fact that we need a new low in a very strong trend. Trouble is, I don't tend to see him take any of them. So whether he doesn't mention them in the videos, but he takes them. The trouble is as well, on my chart, I would prefer that a bit higher because you don't know whether it's going to trigger that and try again. Do you know what I mean? See, there's a bit of a grey area here because Mac will talk about this sometimes. Now, lower high, I'd expect sort of here, but Mac will say sometimes it's gone too far for lower high. Well, if it's got 3 bars in it, it confirms a 3 or more bars confirm a short-term downtrend or short-term trend channel. But then we've got a break. So my bars are dozy, so it's just on the island. So fellow hey Martin, how you doing, my friend? Are you done and dusted for the day, or are you still going, mate? So, nice to see you, bud. Nice to see you. Just thinking, was that one of your type of setups there? Was it that one there? Channel down, 2 attempts to push higher, push strongly through the EMA, picked up on a limit order. Let's have a look. So if you can push through the EMA, get back here on a limit order somewhere and get out before the lows. So channel down, 1 attempt to go high, 2nd attempt to go a failure, pushes through the EMA, comes back on a limit order and drops down. So that is that penguin style trade I do watch constantly. I do something else up here, wasn't there, which was sort of penguin style. I can't remember now. Where was it? Oh, this one. This was another penguin style trade I was looking at. We got a channel with a break, 1 attempt to go lower, 2nd attempt to go lower, failure, and that pushed up. That's another one I was talking about at the time. Channel break, 2 attempts to go lower, and then up we go. So I do watch out for these penguin style trains because they've definitely got some, or trades, because they've definitely got some credibility. No argument. The trouble is the thing's just going down and down, and it's getting hard enough. It's getting. I wonder if that works. Oh, I'm done for the day, and that's why I have time to learn from others. Yeah, you want to learn, mate. You want to learn. You come to the wrong place here, mate. No. Yeah, you can never learn enough, can you? I'm always browsing other traders. I am on the internet, finding out who's doing what and how they're doing it. Yeah, you can never learn enough about these markets, can you? I've been looking at a lot at ICT, and they talk a lot about picking off areas of liquidity, and that helps us as well. You know, they have these where they come back and fill a gap, and a lot of the time they'll take a trade. We actually wait for a signal bar, so there are a lot of other styles that could help us as well, for sure. This thing's so bearish, isn't it? I would say what I'm looking at is this. Is it possible? In fact, I'm going to capture that. Trouble is, when we get so far, depending on how you've got your channel, thing is, this thing keeps going down and down. It's a bit tricky to draw these. I've gone from there to that swing, and it fits there, but I don't know. It's about as good as I've got at the moment, and it's not filling me full of rosy feelings. Put it that way. Second entry short possible there. Leg down, one attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. Second entry short there. Not sure about this. It's 12 ticks. Once it breaks below there. Not a massive fan of this, to be fair. Are we having a leg up and a leg up? Don't want to risk 12 ticks on there. Well, 3 points, 3.5 points. The one that I would not take. The second leg up was much shorter than the first. Might need a tick low. I don't think it made it not hold. Yeah, I'll look in a second. Normally lower, higher, loan. Be risky, but as you said, the trade is strong. That was the reason I liked it. Second entry short, lower, high. Yeah, there's some liquidity down here. Now I'm gonna
Order submitted.
Well, it's a bit bigger risk, so I'm going to get out.
Order
okay,
filled.
we're in and out for 1.25. It's a bigger risk than I'd liked. Is everything out? Is it? Yeah, it's okay. That one's still in, but everything's closed in rhythmic. I don't know why that does that. So that worked quick. So I'm just going to quickly restart my Ninja Trader. I'm just going to disconnect it and connect it again. Hopefully that clears it. Yeah, I thought I was risking about 3.25 points there. It was 4-point risk, so I ain't messing around. I want in and out. It's giving me a quick $1,200 anyway, so I don't mind just taking a point or a 1.25 there. But I like it. There's a second entry short. It's almost definitely going to trap some longs there. Hopefully this has cleared this. Yeah, it has done. Okay. So, yeah, what I like about it is this one here will trap some longs there quite lightly, and this chart here, I like the way it was a bullish bar there, it triggered above it, so I think it's likely it's going to break those lows. So, it went quick anyway, so I'm all right for a 1.25 there. Measured tool. Measured tool. I mean, the one you showed with a measured move. Do not want to interfere with this one. Oh, it's all right. I'm in and out there anyway, so 1.25. It's going to get below there. That's where I'd have put my order. I got in lower than I normally would have done, but I like the fact that there's a higher low there. It's almost definitely going to trap traders. So, you know about that one. So, the two I've seen is the channel down, their first attempt to go higher, second attempt to go higher. When it pushed below, but yeah, is that right? So that was the first one, and the second one was there. That was, I kind of like this one, but maybe I was wrong. So we got a channel that, see, often I tend to think two attempts to go lower. So I tend to be looking for shorts. But what I've noticed in his videos, a lot of time he'll say we've had a break and first attempt at going lower, second attempt at going lower, failure. So when that pushed up strong, so that's the one I thought was more accurate. Is that the one that you would say not so good? And also it is a triple test, isn't it? But the trouble is, up to that time, it's not really bearish. It's more sideways, but there's no triple test to go short here, is there? But the fact we had a break and a first attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower, the way it pushed, it didn't push strongly above that EMA, but I like the way it pushed up. So, but I do tend to look, because if I do see, some are very obvious, but others that they're a little bit more complicated. Have we broken those lows? God, this is so damn bearish, isn't it? Yeah, we have. Okay. So I'd have got in there and put it at the lows. So what would that give me? 2 points. I'd have expected to break those lows, but I got in a little bit late, quite a lot late actually. So tick above, tick below. Yeah, I got in a couple of ticks lower than I should have done there. I actually liked it though. So 1.25. I just like the way we're trapping long. So a leg up, another leg up, but we seem to be finding something down here which I kind of like. Let's have a look at what's got in there. Yeah, someone from Thomas Wade's thing got in there. The same. So they get 12 ticks out of it. He got 12 ticks. Anybody else? Just the one, I think. Oh, tell a lie. Taylor took it as well. I think. Is that one? Yeah, it is. Channel down with a break. 2 attempts. Yeah, and he was out at the lows, I think, something like that. 3, did he say 3 point something bars? Yeah. So at least I know a couple of others took it. So I could have held on for 2 points, but the risk was, well, it was a 4-point risk. I don't like risking that. I just like the trade, so I'm kind of glad to get out for a scalp. So I'm going to get rid of that in a minute, I think. Let's put that there like that for now. It was triple, but still picking up bottoms. After that big move up, there's a visual second entry long off. Yeah. That was a proper penguin one. I'm glad he's still doing it, because I'm pretty sure, was he on about stopping it for a while, wasn't he? I think he was on about stopping his videos for a while. I think they were just getting a bit too much for him, or taking up too much of his time, I think. I remember I heard that. I was a bit disappointed. But he does seem to be back at it, doesn't he? So he's definitely got some serious skills. There's no argument there. He looks like the type of trader who sat in front of these markets for a fair few years. But I've said this before, we talked about Mac, and I think what Mac does is teaches you the basics, and the rest you just have to learn organically. This is the type of skill that you can't really teach someone how to do. You can show them the basics and then give them guidance, but ultimately it's a touch and a feel type of a business. This is you've got to do it, get burned by it, and experience it and understand it. So it is real hands-on type of business. You have to, you can't sit someone side by side, like laying one brick on top of it another. It really is a try and an experience and a learn. So I've got a point in the quarter. So overall, my accounts, it's up just under $1,200. So I'm quite happy with that. So what I'm at for 5. So I'm up a little over 5,000 for the week on all my accounts, and I've still got Friday left. So if I can hit 5,000 for the week on all my accounts, that's plenty for me, because that would be $20,000 a month. So, once my accounts are up to a nice, comfortable level, the potential's there, even on, if you trade 2 contracts and you make $200 times, and I only trade 10 accounts times 10 accounts, that's $2,000. If you do that twice a week, that's $4,000 a week. You don't need to earn a lot. You don't need to do a lot of trades, to earn a decent wage. You really don't. So that trade, was that there? It actually looked a bit better on that one. Push up, push up. So let's mark it on that one as well. So I know where I took it. And see, it wasn't as good there. Leg down, 2 attempts to push higher. It actually was a second entry short, but the bar wasn't as good. But let's put it on there just for just so I know where it was. Yeah, the reason I like that one, I keep noticing these liquidity areas where they're picking up. Now, there is liquidity up there, but it's a lot higher. So as we broke above this, trapped any possible longs with a higher low, and it finished bearish there, in a perfect place really for me. There'll be liquidity there and there. So it went up and then shot down pretty quick. So did I get in and out? So actually got in quite a bit lower than I should have done really. So I got in there, which was, normally I'd have got in, say there, tick below. So I got in three or two. Let me have a look. Yeah, I got in a couple of ticks lower than I should have done there. So having said that, it did push down to 3 points. So if I'd have gone for 2 points, I would have still got it. So I kind of took it on a limit order, something like that. When it started to come down bearish again, for me, we've come back up this line a couple of times and then come down. So for me, this was coming down. So yeah, so it was a point and a quarter. I didn't think, or I didn't notice the 4 point risk. I normally wouldn't take on a 4 point risk. But I'm seeing liquidity down here, so yeah, someone else took it as well. So there was 3 other traders I noticed that took it. There, some other guy, and Taylor took it as well there, so that's good enough for me. Any of you guys get involved in that at all? Or not? It probably looked best here, but it was a second entry short. I like the way it pushed up once, pushed up again. That last short trade did not go far. Market seemed to reverse now. This one here. Let's have a look. Yeah, to be fair, I don't know about you, bud, but I'm finding it a bit hard to read. So whether we're going to go sideways until we may pick up something larger. All right, let's go to, okay. Oh, so yeah, it's a bit hard to read. It's getting almost going a bit sideways. So there is this measured leg, 5, 10, 15, it's about 20 points away though, or near us. Still a bit further down. No. So let's see what happens here. Sometimes these really trending days are quite hard to, I mean, I think overall, touch. You could go back a bit there. We've had a bounce there, a touch there, a touch there. Probably come down a fraction. Wrong one. It's pretty much working between there, but it was kind of stuck in the middle at the moment. It's kind of a first entry there. Trouble is, we're so close to these lows. I don't know whether it is ranging. Channel with a break. New low. It's massive anyway. We're at the bottom, so let's see what happens here. See if it turns back up again. So channel with a break. One attempt to go lower, second attempt to go lower. Yeah, you do earn much less. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if I take a normal trade, makes me 2 points. Now, I'm only trading 10 out of 20 my account, purely and simply because we still have these issues like with Apex and Trade of 8. And if something did go drastically wrong, I could still survive with 10 accounts. If I lost 20, I'll be jumping off a bridge. So you just don't want to do that. If we had real stability with Rhythmic, or if Apex said, as long as you're videoing it, if it goes wrong, we'll put your accounts right, then I'd trade the 20. I know Wilson trades all 20, and you are going to build your account up quicker, but I just couldn't do it. So, but having said that, if I could do just 2 me's, if you wait for good setups and take 2 trades, that's $400 per account per week. That's $1,600 per account per month. Even if you took $1,000 off each account and left the $600 in there to grow the account, it's still $20,000 a month. Who earns $20,000 a month? No one I've ever known, personally. God, if you offered me £20,000 a month for life, I'd snap your hand off. So you don't need a lot of trades, really. That's the beauty of having multiple accounts. So Thomas Wade's in another one here as well. Let me look at this. Oh no, tell a lie, sorry. Oh, it's just... Oh, tell a lie. Which one did he take? Thomas Wade took that bar there. Oh, okay. He took that bar there. And he's still on a runner. So he was in here and he's up to 10.5 points on one contract on a runner. So this is going down further. Trouble is he's left his stop there. This will be interesting later to find out how much he took on that. Once it gets to the below those lows, you feel you've got to take it, don't you? So hopefully he has. So I am going to give that some colour now because I think it's relevant. Touch, 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 touch. Definitely working within there, no argument. Kind of pushed up and bounced on the midline. We did the same there, actually. Pushed up above the midline, then dropped. Same again. Bounced below it, bounced on it, pushed above it, and closed, and we've come down ever since. So... at the moment, it's kind of moving in this bottom tier. Channel break new low, so I'm not looking at a short here, although the market is very bearish. Trouble is we're right at the very lows, so going short that close to the lows is just risky in my opinion. We're really bearish at the moment and we're right low, so there's no setup bar anyway. So, but as we've had a channel and a break, I don't think there's a larger channel there. There may be. Maybe, yeah, but the trouble is we've bounced here, so I don't know, perhaps it's me being paranoid, but two legs up and then down. I don't like this because it's also a little bit sideways, so this breakout could fail. Yeah, good decision, because that chart there, see that bearish bar there is triggered. That's almost definitely going to, well, you'd think it would push up and break that. This top chart, one more tick and we're up to it. So yeah, taking that one there is, yeah, we're above it. So it's just, you just can't trade this stuff at the moment because so close to these lows, you've got to bounce off something with substance. So maybe a couple of legs bounced off the midline. I don't know. It's rangy at the moment, so I'm nearly done, I think. Anyway, I tend to trade for 3 hours. I'm about 4 minutes, 3 minutes off that, 5 minutes off that. So not the easiest of days to trade. There have been some setups, but the trouble is once you do that, there's nothing you can do. There's no setup there, no setup there. That one I looked at. Trouble is it's a bit rangy, but I think it is a failure, and usually when you get something like that, maybe trap those longs, it's pretty much going to move. So I just tend to make a mental note of these and that, but there really hasn't been a lot. Can't really do anything here. There's just nothing really, so there may be a trade or two. If I was around here after those two legs down, I'd have taken that higher low for sure. But that was a bit early, pre-market. So two pushes up, bearish bar, trapping the longs there, so that's probably going to break the lows, but has anybody taken that? That wasn't a terrible trade there, trapping the longs. But just don't like all this. So it's very likely we may get down here to this second leg from a couple of days ago. How far off we? Only 15, 16 points. So no argument there. It's a clear larger trend there. But it's just working nice, touching in all the right places. But we got a little bit of sideways here. So I'm going to leave you there, folks. So I'm up about $1,200, just under $1,200 over all my accounts for the day. So that's an acceptable day for me. I'll take what I can get. I could have got the full 2 points, but the risk was way bigger than I thought it was. So I'm happy just to get out. I was happy to get out for a point, but 5 ticks will do me. So far, so good. So I will love you, leave you. Have a great day. Stay safe, and I'll be back tomorrow. Last day tomorrow, Friday, before another week is finished. So if you're carrying on trading, best of luck. I hope you get something. Failing that, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye for now.